When two names on different shirts carry the same managerial fingerprint, a single match becomes much more than 90 minutes. It becomes a statement. On Sunday, Ruben Amorim will watch a collision he helped engineer. Victor Gyökeres, the striker he reshaped into an elite goal scorer, arrives at Old Trafford with Arsenal, and facing him is Benjamin Sesko. The high-priced forward Manchester United signed this summer in a deal that targeted both now and the future. What unfolds isn't merely about who nets the first goal. It's a test of scouting, coaching, and the fine line between a polished product and a promising project. Amorim's record at Sporting is part of the law. He inherited a forward and over a season and more, turned him into a relentless finisher whose movement, timing and finishing all looked coached and instinctive at once. Gyökeres arrived at Arsenal carrying that reputation, and his debut against a United side that spent heavily on reinforcements will either validate the transfer market's verdict or force an uncomfortable reappraisal of how clubs identify readiness versus potential. Sesko arrives with youth, size and raw tools that justify a big outlay. He also arrives with the expectation that he must adapt quickly to a different tempo, a different pressure, and a fan base that measures success in immediate returns. That contrast, experience under Amorim's system versus raw investment in a long-term asset, is the engine of this match's story. Tactically, watch the spaces each striker occupies. Gyökeres is comfortable being the focal point, but equally lethal running in behind, occupying channels and finishing chances that come from clever interplay. Sesko's profile suggests a striker who can develop into that same kind of threat, but who may initially lean on physicality and reach to create moments. How Manchester United defend him and how Arsenal defend Sesko will reveal the first answers. Do United adapt their shape to protect a newcomer, or do they demand he hold up play, press and produce immediately? Will Arsenal provide Gyökeres with the service that once made him unstoppable under Amorim, or will Premier League defences blunt his early impact? The financial subplot fuels the narrative. Clubs, directors and fans talk in millions because those numbers carry expectations. When a manager's past player steps into a rival stadium and outperforms a player his club invested heavily in, recruitment strategies come under scrutiny. Conversely, if the young signing shows flashes that promise a decade of service, United's faith will look prescient. There's also the human side, a coach watching two careers he touched differently, a player making a debut in front of an expectant crowd, and another proving his evolution on one of the biggest stages. For the neutrals, this is a learning moment about football development. Some players arrive polished because of a system that accentuates their strengths. Others arrive raw and require time, patience, and the right coaching environment. For pundits and recruiters, it's a living case study. And for fans, it's personal. Pride, vindication, and the right to say we were right will pour out across social feeds depending on the outcome. In short, the match will offer immediate drama, goals, tackles, perhaps a defining moment, and longer-term consequences for how clubs judge value and process talent. Keep your eyes on movement off the ball. The first 20 minutes to see who imposes themselves, and small tactical tweaks that reveal which side believes most in its striker. After full time, the headlines will speak to goals and missed chances, but the deeper answer to the day's question, who proved Amorim right, his past or his present, will echo in recruitment meetings, in transfer budgets, and in how managers sell their vision. Watch, judge, and remember that sometimes a single game does more than deliver 3 points. It rewrites a narrative about who builds winners and who still has work to do.